Mindset change vs. emotional change. Why growth can look convincing while leaving the real work untouched. One of the most damaging confusions in modern coaching and self-help culture is the idea that mindset change equals personal change. It doesn't. Mindset change is real. It is measurable. It can feel transformative. But when it happens without emotional integration, it produces movement without grounding, certainty without stability, and change without repair. This distinction is not theoretical. It plays out in careers, relationships, families, and identities, often with irreversible consequences. What mindset change actually is. Mindset change is cognitive reorganization. It involves new beliefs, new interpretations, new language, new explanations for old frustrations. Frameworks like NLP and neurosemantics specialize in this. They do not ask whether a belief is true. They ask whether it is useful. Meaning is treated as adjustable, not earned. When someone is intelligent, driven, and already oriented toward learning, this is rocket fuel. Questions such as, what do you really want? What's stopping you? Who are you becoming? Do not just prompt reflection. They reassign causality. If someone is learning, growing, doing the work, and still not achieving the life they imagine, the framework quietly suggests that the problem is not circumstance, timing, or complexity. It is misalignment. Once that idea lands, change stops being optional. It becomes a requirement. Emotional change is something else entirely. Emotional change is not a narrative shift. It is a physiological and relational process. It involves attachment systems, grief and guilt, fear responses, nervous system regulation, long-held emotional memory. You cannot talk your way out of these. You cannot reframe them into submission, and you cannot bypass them without cost. Real emotional change slows people down. It introduces doubt. It creates periods of not knowing. It destabilizes identity before anything new is ready to take its place. That is why it is unpopular. When the two get split. The real damage happens when mindset races ahead while emotion lags behind. The person feels clear, purposeful, and future-focused, while unresolved attachment, guilt, grief, and fear remain active underneath. At that point, mindset does not integrate emotion. It overrides it. This is when language starts doing the work emotion should be doing. Fear becomes intuition. Avoidance becomes boundaries. Restlessness becomes growth. Detachment becomes self-respect. Harm becomes hard but necessary change. Nothing has been resolved. It has simply been reinterpreted. Why coaching accelerates this split. Coaching frameworks reward forward motion. They are built for scalability, not containment. They prioritize clarity over ambiguity and certainty over integration. Emotion, especially when it complicates momentum, is treated as resistance to be questioned or reframed. For someone already ambitious and dissatisfied, this creates a powerful internal logic. If I am learning and growing, and my outcomes are not changing, then something in my environment must be incompatible with who I'm becoming. Relationships are the most available lever, not because they are the cause, but because they are close, manifesting as retrospective justification. This is where manifesting narratives slide in seamlessly. New people, new jobs, and new opportunities are not evaluated slowly. They are interpreted symbolically. This arrived at the right time. This felt aligned immediately. This must be what I was meant to find. Agency comes first. Meaning follows. Choices are recast as destiny, and the relief that follows a rupture is taken as proof it was right. Contradictory evidence disappears. Multiple previous jobs, failed experiments, and false starts are quietly edited out of the story. Only the outcome that feels good survives. This is not manifestation. It is confirmation bias with spiritual language. Why discernment disappears. Discernment requires stillness. Stillness looks like failure inside a growth-driven mindset. A financially secure, intelligent adult could pause, remain single, integrate what happened, and let emotional truth catch up. But the framework does not reward waiting. It rewards movement. So the first option that offers momentum feels meaningful by default. First in sight becomes right on time. The cost that doesn't get counted. Here is the ethical failure. When mindset change is mistaken for emotional change, accountability shifts. The person becomes accountable to the framework, the coach, the peer echo chamber, the future self-narrative. They stop being accountable to the people carrying the emotional consequences. Care, history, and repair lose standing because they cannot be easily plotted on an axis of change. How you can tell the difference. Real emotional change looks like increased patience, tolerance for ambiguity, less certainty, not more, relationships becoming steadier, not more volatile. Mindset-only change looks like fluent frameworks, moral urgency, clean explanations for messy outcomes, rapid decisions framed as alignment. One deepens relationships. The other often burns through them. The uncomfortable conclusion. Mindset change can be powerful. It can also be dangerous. Without emotional integration, it becomes a permission structure, a way to move forward without sitting with the cost of moving on. What gets called growth is often just motion. What gets called alignment is often relief. What gets called manifestation is often choice, retrospectively justified. And the people left behind are not evidence of failure. They are evidence of what the model could not hold.